Hello everyone, this is Team 5. We are going to be talking about job mapping and product prototyping in this presentation. My name is Ekta Singh and my teammates are David Smith and Vin Tan.
Hey everyone, this is Vin. I just want to start off by giving everyone an overview of what kind of company we are. We are a startup company whose goal is to create innovative, viable mousetrap solutions to compete with industry leader Victor Mousetrap and to adhere to the circular economy model that minimizes waste and reduces environmental impact. At the start of our job mapping process, we conducted several interviews and solicited feedback from our customers regarding the job steps. As a team, we reviewed the feedback and dissected the job the customer is trying to get done. We then populated our findings into the job mapping table as shown. As a team, we also performed observational interviews to see if there were any missing job steps that were not originally identified at the start of our job mapping process. From those steps, we provided 2 outcome statements for each. Some of the steps that we observed to help refine our job mapping process includes how the customer anticipates reducing clutter to minimize the potential to catch a mouse, how to reduce the scope in which the mouse can enter a house or an area, how to reduce the need to set unnecessary traps. Once the mouse is caught, how can they dispose of the mouse without contaminating the originally affected area? How to safely remove a mouse from the area for the customer and the mouse. And lastly, once the trap is no longer needed, how can the customer recycle the mousetrap? Given the feedback we solicited from our customers and the identified missing job steps in our observations, we concluded that our greatest innovation strategy lies with minimizing the suffering of the mouse. So we wanted to know if there was a more humane option than what's currently available in the market. We want to minimize the packaging material to see if there was a way to both minimize costs while reducing waste. And 3, maximize recyclability of the mousetrap. What happens after the mouse is out of the picture? Now I'm going to turn it over to David to discuss the business and community outcome.
Hi, this is David. Now that we have our prioritization strategy in order, our next step is to identify our key stakeholders and what this innovation will mean for them. Our key stakeholders in this instance are our business and our community. Our business, the benefits for it, will include minimizing packaging material to reduce cost and waste. What that means is we want to use as little packaging material as possible in order to prevent waste, and then also you source recyclable material so that it will inevitably return to the environment and its base components. This will simultaneously save us money in our shipping costs. In addition to that, we want to maximize recyclability of the mousetrap, so the material will need to be recyclable so that it also benefits the environment. Our other stakeholder is the community, and one of the benefits for the community is that it will minimize the likelihood of the mouse returning by using our trap. The way that this will happen is that the customer will be instructed to, in the using of the trap, to drop the mouse at least a mile away from their home, which will reduce the likelihood of it returning. And it will also minimize the environmental impact by recycling the traps. Now, the customer is going to be included in this because we will provide a shipping label that they'll be able to print out from our website that will allow them to send the used trap back for refurbishing or upcycling. And if they choose not to do this, the customer can hold on to the trap and clean it themselves or not and use it again. Next, we took our outcome statements, our vital few outcome statements from the voice of the customer and plugged them into the Pew matrix in order to obtain selection criteria for our innovations or to use them to refine our product selection criteria, so we know what is going to be a useful and viable product. In the Pew matrix, having plugged in the selection criteria, we used the electric trap from Victor Mousetrap as a reference, and a traditional snap trap as a competitor for our live trap, in order to make sure that our live trap is going to be a viable option. We used our voice of the customer selection criteria and determined that this was the case. The live trap is a viable option. We move on to our product concepts. This one, the paddy wagon, is a simple design. The benefit of it is that it is a modular design, and it will be sent to the customer or provided to the customer in disassembled order, packaged, so that they will have to assemble it partially themselves. It's a simple spring trap design, so once the trap goes in, it will close the door behind it, which will trap the mouse without causing injury.
This is our second concept, and it's our most humane concept. As you can see, the mouse pad, it has many amenities that any mouse would love to have. So you could see there's mood lighting, there's a buffet, skylights that's available, a bed, and even a treadmill. You can also see that there are no doors to this mouse pad. The idea is that the mouse will like it so much it would not want to leave, and if it did want to leave, the only reason why would be to bring its friends and other family members. This will optimize the customer's ability to catch as many mouse as possible, if there's more, and send them back into their natural habitat.
So I like Win. My concept is simple. It's a simple mouse trap, a catch and release mouse trap, and there are air holes for the mouse to breathe. The trap is made of refurbished plastic, and the bait is set on a plate. The mouse sees the bait, comes inside, and the weight of the mouse triggers the spring door to shut. And once you have to release the mouse, you just tilt the door side of the spring door, and the mouse will just slide off easily.
Mute, please. Now, what we did once we had these innovation or these products, product concepts winnowed down, we went ahead and designed. We went ahead and put them into the Pew matrix in order to winnow them down. We used the live trap as the reference this time, and what we came out with was that the paddy wagon and the scram trap, that is, those were going to be the concepts that move forward. We took the best elements of each concept in order to integrate them into our two concepts that move forward, and some of these included minimizing the customer contact at the time of disposal. What we wanted to do is prevent the mouse from being able to get out of the trap while it was being opened and bite the user. Another one was that we wanted to minimize costs associated with production by reusing the materials. And part of that was the modular design in the first one that allowed us to send the trap back and then reuse parts of it or the entire thing, or to recycle it as necessary. Another one is to maximize sustainable sourcing for initial manufacturing. We wanted to make sure that the materials sourced initially were recycled materials and not just make it recyclable. And then lastly, minimize time the rodent spends in the trap by notifying the user, as in the Bluetooth design in the mouse pad that allowed the user to be notified when there was a mouse inside the trap. The two concepts that you see in front of you show that these designs were integrated. On the paddy wagon, you can see the sliding hinge pin that allows the door to fall off to prevent the user from having any contact with the mouse when it's being released. You can see that there is recycled plastic being used in the construction, and the door alarm, rather than a Bluetooth, we installed a sensor that will chime or beep when the trap is sprung, and that way they will be able to hear it while reducing manufacturing cost from having a complex device like Bluetooth and the refurbished plastic in the scram trap. We took these concepts, plugged them back into the Pew matrix, and we still use the live trap as the reference point, and we identified a winner out of the two. And we ended up moving forward with the paddy wagon, and we've shown all the included design features and the product components.
So finally, here are our key learnings. In order to minimize waste, we need to start with sourcing the right construction materials. So as you've heard, we are using recycled material in the construction of our traps. The plastic and the metal that goes in is all made of recycled materials. Benefiting the environment can benefit our bottom line by reusing product components. So what this means is the customers can send their traps back once they have served its purpose, and we can clean them and reuse them for our other customers. So this helps in improving our margin by spending less on production costs and reusing the traps and maybe producing only the component that doesn't work anymore. There's such a thing as a win-win-win scenario. So things are not always there's such a thing as a win-win scenario. So things are not always a zero-sum game. Just as we learned about the blue ocean strategy, you can create new situations or markets where nobody loses. So in our case, the customers get the satisfaction of reducing their carbon footprint, and we as manufacturers are saving on production costs by recycling and reusing our products, and the mouse is set free in the end, and the customer can be a part of the solution. So and finally, the most important thing that we think is important is that the voice of the customer should be a part of the solution. And with that, we will conclude our presentation. Thank you.